What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to be the owner of some real deal money, some real deal silver. In today's video, I want to talk about the spot price of silver falling by nearly 1.5% down to just over $33 per troy ounce, inching its way lower and seeming as though we might be falling back down into the $32 an ounce range pretty soon. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. 4 super quick things before we dive into the video. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing, and you would like to be, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for new investors to start investing because of how simple it is to navigate around on the app. Remember, I do plan on taking 3 people before the end of the month, helping them learn about the stock market and helping them kickstart their investment portfolios. Already helped out too. If you'd like to be the last one of the month, please reach out. We will link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, currency sleeves, microscopes, the list goes on, any and all prepping supplies and stacking supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. All right, so in today's video, I want to primarily talk about the spot price. The spot price of silver, as I'm filming this video on Saturday evening, it is about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday, April 26, 2025. The spot price of silver, currently $33.05 per troy ounce, down about 47 cents, down about 1.42%. So we're down almost 1.5%. Granted, it is the weekend. Markets are closed right now, but I thought it was pretty interesting. And you know what else I thought was pretty interesting? Something that I just did less than an hour ago. I watched, and I know this is going to sound random, and we'll get back to the silver in just 1 second, but I watched the Eubanks Ben fight. How many of you watched Chris Eubanks Sr. and Nigel Benn fight in the boxing ring? They fought back in the 90s, and here we are 30-something years later. I just had the opportunity of watching both of their sons fight each other. Hands down, one of the greatest boxing matches I have ever seen. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You're welcome. But speaking of April 26th, the spot price, $33.05. Almost $33 even. Almost back into the $32 an ounce range. Are we going to see $32.99 pretty soon? Are we going to see $32.75, $32.50, $32 even? It's very well possible. And if you pay any attention to what the stock market is doing, I'm sure you're probably not surprised that the spot price of silver is moving red. And by the way, so is gold. Here's the spot price of gold, $3,318.30, down $30.50, or down 0.91%, so down almost 1%. Gold's down almost 1%, silver's down almost 1.5%. The precious metals are moving in a downward direction. The precious metals are taking a little bit of punishment. Now, like I said, if you pay attention to the stock market, you're probably not all that surprised. Thursday was a pretty solid day for stocks. Friday was an even better day for stocks. Friday was actually potentially the best day of the year for the stock market. Everything was in the green across the board. I couldn't even find anything that was in the red. And typically, what's good news for stocks is bad news for precious metals. See, when it comes to the precious metals, whether it be the silver, like what we're looking at on display, whether it be gold, regardless of which precious metal we're talking about or which precious metal we're looking at or focused on, when it comes to the precious metals, oftentimes bad news is good news. Oftentimes you'll notice that during times of high inflation or during times of economic uncertainty or during times of a presidential election, this happens starting around September, October, November every 4 years here in the US, whether it be a trade war, whether it be geopolitical conflict or a full-blown war, whatever the case may be, you'll oftentimes notice that during these times of bad news, it ends up being good news for the precious metals. And that's because a lot of people turn to silver and gold, mostly gold, as a safe haven during times of rough patches, during times of economic uncertainty, during times of recessions. Which, by the way, a recession, by definition, 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. So a lot of the time, you won't even know for an absolute fact if you're in a recession until after the recession's over. You find out after those 2 consecutive quarters. And who knows? It could be a 3rd consecutive quarter that you find this out in which case the recession is ongoing. But this is something that you'll tend to notice during these times: recessions, inflation, trade wars, geopolitical conflict, presidential elections, economic uncertainty, unemployment going up, businesses falling, the stock market falling, real estate running into some trouble. You'll notice that the silver and gold tend to thrive during those times. And that's because the precious metals are looked at and seen as a safe haven. Especially gold. With silver comes a lot of volatility. Silver is something that many people like us, the little guy, will use as a form of hedging against inflation or storing value or preserving the wealth that we've built so far. Gold is what the big dogs use for the same reasons, except with gold, it's typically not nearly as volatile as silver. Gold is a much more stable metal. It's the stability metal, which is why a lot of people turn to gold, the stability metal, during times of instability. A lot of the time you'll notice that these people will start selling off some of their assets. They will start to liquidate portions of their portfolios. They will start to build a cash reserve or take their cash reserve and park it in gold. This is something that you'll notice time and time and time again. Silver is used in a very similar way, but not so much by the big dogs. And I'm talking about the biggest of the big dogs. Those are the ones who couldn't care less about anything besides gold during times like that, which I understand. If I had hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with, millions of dollars to work with, tens of millions of dollars to work with, yeah, I would absolutely 100% without a doubt prefer gold as well, because where on God's green earth would I park all of that silver? Hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars put into silver? I would need a whole nother room of the house dedicated to the metal. Meanwhile, gold takes up far more room. Now, I understand it might not always be physical metals that these people work with. A lot of them buy into paper metals as well. But either way, the big dogs, they prefer gold. The little guy, that might vary person to person. You ask 10 different people, odds are you're going to get 10 different answers. But if you ask me, I prefer both metals, but I like them both for different reasons, and I definitely see more opportunity in silver. And I understand that the big dogs aren't looking for the opportunity, or maybe don't view it as an opportunity the way that I do. Maybe that's just not what they're looking for, and I just see it differently than they do. I believe that silver is painfully undervalued. And I think it will continue to be painfully undervalued regardless of if it starts moving in an upward direction. $35, $40, $45, $50, $51, marking a brand new all-time high. If silver were to go up to a new all-time high this year, $51, $52, $53, I would still consider that to be painfully undervalued. That's just how I see it. That's my personal opinion. So when it comes to the quote-unquote opportunity, yeah, I prefer silver over gold. When it comes to the powerhouse metal, when it comes to overall general stability and the strength, the endurance of gold, yeah, I prefer gold for that reason. Fortunately for me, and fortunately for all of us, really, we are not forced to choose. We have the freedom, we have the ability to stack both. Now, just because we can stack both doesn't mean that we are. I, over the last 7 years, have picked up far more silver than gold, and I've had the same exact identical opportunity to buy gold as I did to buy silver. I could have been all in on gold since the very beginning. No, I chose to be, I don't want to say all in on silver, but way more focused on silver than gold for 7 years straight. I started to introduce gold to the stack early on. I think I was maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, and I started to get a little bit of gold from time to time, strictly for diversification purposes. I figured it's better to have a little bit of gold than to not have any gold at all. Fast forward to present day, that remains almost the same. My stance as 7 years ago. Fast forward to today, it's about the same. I am far more focused on silver than gold. Now at this point, for me, it's merely just a hobby. I think the coins, the rounds, the bars are fun. I think that they're interesting. I think that they're unique. I think that by acquiring different coins, rounds, and bars from different countries or different mints, from different time periods, you can learn a lot about history and you can learn a lot about the world, which is why I think the coins, the rounds, the bars are so fascinating to me. So for me, it's a hobby. And unlike a lot of other hobbies out there, this just so happens to be a hobby that keeps the money. See, most other hobbies cost money. And if you're going to spend money on a hobby, if you're going to spend money on something that you enjoy, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're interested in cars and you spend a lot of money on car parts and whatnot and working on cars, if that's something that you're genuinely, wholeheartedly interested in, I have no problem with that. There is no issue. There is nothing wrong with spending money on a hobby and something that you're passionate about. Maybe it's painting. Buying canvases, buying paint, buying brushes costs money. But if that's something that you're into, it is what it is. If you're into traveling, spend a lot of money on traveling, airplanes, hotels, whatnot. Hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Everyone has different hobbies. Nothing wrong with that. And the people that are into cars, the people that are into painting, the people that are into traveling, they might look at someone like me who just happens to be into coins, and they might think to themselves, well, that's kind of dumb. Meanwhile, I look at what they're doing, and I think that might be a little dumb. There's nothing wrong with spending on your hobby, except when your hobby happens to be silver and gold. It's really the only hobby that keeps the money. Because silver and gold, at the end of the day, what are the precious metals? They are money. This right here, this coin in my hand, and all the coins, rounds, and bars that you're looking at on display, were considered money long before these were. Long before currency was introduced. Long before fiat was a concept. See, the silver and the gold, they are not only internationally recognized as money, but they are constitutionally recognized as money, and even more importantly, biblically recognized as money. Silver, gold, real, true, honest money with real, true, honest value. So do I believe that the quote-unquote value of silver and gold will be moving in a downward direction? Value? No. The so-called spot price? Yeah, I could definitely see it continuing to move in a downward direction. Not by a dramatic amount. Not by a whole lot. At least not at this time. But the next week or so, I could see it being more red than green. I could definitely see that being a thing. And I do believe that the stock market is going to continue its bounce back. I do believe the stock market is going to recover from some of the bleeding out it had experienced this year so far, pretty much this entire year so far. I do believe stocks will be back on the rise. I do believe crypto will be back on the rise. I do believe that the economy and businesses will be back on the rise. I do believe that real estate will be back on the rise. Not to say that real estate has gone through anything negative recently. Although I was reading the other day that pending sales down about 5.7%. So there's that. But anyway, here's my take. The lower the better. The lower the spot price, the more silver I'm able to get for my currency. The lower the spot price means I can get the same amount of silver for a lower dollar bill amount. I can get more money for my currency. And this has been my stance. This has been my opinion for the last 7 years. When I first started stacking silver, first time I picked up any silver at all, my very first troy ounce of silver, spot price was about $17 and a couple cents. The second time I picked up silver, it was about $16.80 maybe. The third time it was about $16.50. The fourth time, $16.40, $16.30, $16.20, $16.10, $15.75, $15.25, $14.85. My entire first year of stacking. My first 365 days, spot price moved in a downward direction. So coming from the perspective of someone that was brand new to stacking, it would have been understandable for me to be freaking out. Oh my God, I'm losing money. Oh my God, I put my dollars into this, now it's worth less. It would be understandable for me to freak out. I didn't freak out though. I said to myself that all this means is that a bigger opportunity is presenting itself to me every time I get silver. Every time I get silver, the opportunity to get even more silver opened up. You open up the silver door and guess what? There's another silver door. That's how I saw it when I first started stacking. And I remember when silver hit $14 and whatever cents, and I believe that was the summer of 2018. And I remember saying way back then, back in 2018, I remember saying, silver may never, ever be this low again. And guess what? 7 years have gone by. It has not been lower. Other than that little blip that we saw during the COVID crash where it fell from about $18 down to like about $11 or $12. Then it popped back up a little bit. But with the exception of that moment, spot price hasn't been that low. Spot price is more than double present day. Even with the spot price being down about $33 right now. I said back in 2018 that the spot price may never ever be lower than this. Spot price was $14 and change. Not to say that repeating myself today, being like, oh, silver may never be this low again. Not to say that in 7 years, spot price is going to be $70 or something like that. That's not what I'm saying here. Point being is that when spot price is in the red, all that means is that it's on sale. And by the way, same goes for stocks. Same goes for anything that you want to buy. Same goes for the box of cereal that you went to the grocery store for. You go to the grocery store, you're planning on spending about $5 on cereal, come to find out that it's on sale for $3.75. You were going to get it at $5 anyway. You would have bought it regardless. You walked into the grocery store, you went down the cereal aisle, and surprise, surprise, discount. How many of you would say, absolutely not? It's cheaper than it was last time I was here. I'm not buying those Cheerios. How many people would say that? None. Nobody. So if you're into silver for the long term, and if silver is something that you're genuinely fascinated by, something that you're genuinely interested in, and something that you truly believe in, especially for the long term, why do you care if spot price is red today? What's the difference? Who cares about today? If you're in it for the long term, today doesn't matter. 15 years from now, none of us are going to look back and say, man, Saturday, April 26th of 2025 really changed everything. Spot price was down 1.4%. Wow. No one's ever going to care about that. I see it as a discount. I see it as a sale. I see it as an opportunity to get more silver for my cash, or the same amount of silver for a smaller amount of cash. And the silver that I plan on picking up, in fact, some silver that I will have in my possession within the next couple of days. And there will be an unboxing video. As I've explained in one or two other videos, one of my plans for 2025 is to grow the herd. That's the project right now. Project Grow the Herd is probably what I'm calling it. And by that I mean every week or every other week, or even if it's just once a month, what I'm going to do with a little bit of leftover cash from my paycheck is I'm going to go and I'm going to get some silver buffaloes. I don't care if they are Sunshine buffaloes. I don't care if they are Highland Mint buffaloes. I don't care where they're from. Liberty Mint, doesn't matter. I want silver buffaloes this year. And I have 2 larger pieces of metal that I am saving up for, one of which may or may not be a 1 kilo silver bar, and the other one might be a 1 troy ounce gold buffalo. But in the meantime, while I save up for those larger pieces, I am going to be taking money from a different income stream, and I'm going to be setting it aside, and rather than saving up for a larger piece, I'm going to be getting a small piece frequently. I don't care if it's 1 silver buffalo. I don't care if it's 2 silver buffaloes. I don't care if it's 3. I don't care if it's 4. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to be going after silver buffaloes this year. And that's just going to be kind of like my method of physical at-home savings. I want to grow the herd. I want to expand the herd. I want to be surrounded by silver buffaloes. You can even see a couple that I have on screen. I have one right here, one right here. I just showed you the 4 that I have in capsules. I have even more tucked away in tubes that I have locked up. I have, my fair share of silver buffaloes. But this year in 2025, I want to grow the herd. Like, exponentially grow the herd. I am a man on a mission right now. And one thing that I'm going to be doing with this one particular income stream is pick up silver buffaloes, whether it be once a week or once a month or somewhere in between, while I save up for 2 much more significant pieces. One being silver and one being gold. Larger denominations. Larger denominations than anything that I own. That's what I'm saving up for, and in the meantime, I'll be growing the herd of silver buffaloes. So those are just some of my thoughts. Those are some of my opinions. Those are some of my game plans and strategies at this time. I'm looking forward to a very silver year. I'm looking forward to hopefully a very gold year. We have a lot to be excited about right now. We have a lot to look forward to, and we have a lot of work to do. So I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know what's on your to-stack list this year. I have a couple of smaller pieces that I'm after. I have a couple of 2-ounce silver coins that I plan on picking up very, very soon as well. There is a 5-ounce silver bar that I'm very interested in. those are easier to acquire. The kilo bar and the 1 ounce gold coin, those are going to take some time, energy, and effort to work my way up to. But those are just a couple of examples of pieces that are on my to stack list, hopefully this year and or early next year. But I'd love to know what's on your to stack list. Let me know in the comments. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. Now, of course, as we wrap up the video, 4 very quick things. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing and you'd like to be, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so. And they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to navigate on the app. And remember, I do want to take 3 people this month, before the end of the month, before the end of April, help them learn about the stock market and help them kickstart their investment portfolios. I've already helped 2. If you'd like to be the last one, please reach out. Webull link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, whether it be anti-tarnish paper, currency sleeves, mini lock boxes, microscopes, the list goes on, any and all stacking supplies and any and all prepping supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. And once again, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know what's on your to stack list. Is there any coin rounder bar that you do not currently own? Maybe it's a little bit higher of a premium and you weren't really able to justify it in the past, but you're committing to actually getting it now. Or maybe it's a larger denomination than anything that you've ever stacked before, whether it be a kilo bar, 20-ounce bar, 50-ounce bar, or beyond, or whether it be gold. Maybe you only have fractional gold and you want to get yourself a 1-ounce gold coin this year, or a larger fractional gold coin. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.